Hello, my name is Julia Fort. I'm a physiotherapist by education and I've been working as a yoga therapist and a sound healer for over 17 years. Dealing with human health, I deal not only with what hurts, but I try to decipher the message of the body. I try to see a bit behind of what's hurting. And through years of working with women, as well as my own healing journey, I started to see something very clearly, and that does bother me, that makes me really sad, that most modern women are basically exhausted. And I ask myself, why is that? Why we women who are capable of giving life, who are capable of living through death, which occurs every month in our bodies, why we, being such an immense power, are living almost on the edge. And the answer is actually quite simple, because we are trying to live against our nature. And today I would like to explain this in a quite rational, quite scientific way through our body. So one of the biggest confusions of modern culture is mixing equality with sameness. Of course, we're equal in value. Of course, no creation can take place without both feminine and masculine participating in it. Both are equally important, but we are not identical in design. And when we ignore this difference, we don't become freer, we become disconnected, especially women. Because modern life is built mostly around one type of functioning, and you will see further that it's masculine style of life. So linear, goal-oriented, performance-driven, 24/7 active. In yoga, there is a very simple language for this. You must have heard the term Hatha Yoga. Ha is the solar masculine principle. It implies action, direction, structure, strength. Ta is the lunar principle or feminine principle, and it implies receptivity, sensuality, integration, flexibility. This is what we do in Hatha Yoga. We develop strength and flexibility in our bodies and balance masculine and feminine aspects of the psyche. And these are not just abstract ideas, they are embodied realities. Our body is not random. I love to say to my students that our bodies are our precious manuals for well-being. And nowhere is this more evident than in the reproductive system. So let's look at the sperm. Sperm is the smallest cell in the human body. There are millions of them moving, competing, racing, each one with a mission: reach the egg. So this is pure linear movement, performance, very focused, very goal-oriented. Loads of competition there, loads of achievement. And imagine, just think about it, the result-orientedness is so high, is so dominant, that the sperm sacrifices part of itself to deliver its genetic material into the egg. Can you imagine? This is a very specific design. Only the goal matters, not the process or the cost of achieving it. And of course, it is beautiful in its way, when it is in its place where it's meant to be. But women can't live like this. Women are process-oriented. And let's explore this, diving into the egg's life. So the egg is the largest cell in the human body. It does not move. let alone chase. It does not even influence, and yet anything moves towards it. It does not compete. On the contrary, and that's an amazing prompt from our body. The egg never develops alone. Several follicles grow together. They create sufficient levels of estrogens and promote the eggs maturing. They support each other. They never compete. And biology shows us very clearly through that female well-being as well as development is relational, not competitive, not isolated, but interconnected. And that's one of the reasons why female circles have become so trendy these days, because women have always known this truth. We just carry it within our bodies. So let's dive a bit deeper into the egg's life to discover what else we've always known but learned to disregard. So when the egg matures, it does something extraordinary. But this extraordinary seems outrageous if we look at it from a mindset of control. It just lets go of control. The egg develops inside the ovary in a protected, regulated environment. Hormones are balanced, the conditions are stable, she's sheltered and provided for. Then ovulation happens, and the egg is released into, let's say for simplicity, to the fallopian tube, though it's a little bit more complicated. And here's the key point. Once it leaves the ovary, it has no muscles, no mechanism to move by itself, no ability to decide where to go or even to distinguish in which direction. It cannot act, it cannot control or even influence the process in a direct way. So basically, the egg relies on the movement of the fallopian tubes, the flow of fluids, the timing of hormonal signals, the surrounding biological field. In other words, it moves not because it pushes, but because it trusts. It trusts that she will be taken care of. I mean it, just hear it once again and watch how your body is responding to that. The egg shows the ultimate trust, or even, if you want, the ultimate self-worthiness. I am the one who gives life. That's what would have been written on her crown if she had one. And she behaves with such royal dignity that I believe she deserves one. So the egg regulates through alignment with her state. She is always kind of inwardly focused. She always listens to herself. When she's ready, when she's not, what's congruent to her, what's not. And it matures, it becomes viable, it becomes receptive, and then, by her royal grace, she allows the system to move it. And here comes the second key point. Even in this apparent letting go, the egg does not lose the power of discernment. Scientific research shows that the egg is not a passive recipient. It can influence which sperm is able to fertilize it through biochemical signaling and compatibility mechanism. So that means it does not control the movement, but it controls the selection. And this is a very precise message from our body. Masculine says, where do I go? What do I achieve? Whereas feminine says, what do I allow in when I'm ready? Or even deeper, who or what will I give my resource to? And this is exactly why the egg can let go of chasing and forcing, because its power is not in movement. It is in alignment with its inner truth. And when you understand this, something becomes very clear. This is not weakness. This is not passivity. This is just a different architecture of intelligence. And it's not better or worse than masculine intelligence. It's just different. It's a different dimension. So now let's translate all this into the female body as a whole. A woman's physiology is deeply dependent on the context. Hormonal balance is not isolated. It is influenced by the emotional state, sense of safety, relationships, environment. So the limbic system, which processes emotions, it's the part of our brain, directly affects the endocrine system, which regulates the hormones. And this means that a woman's body is constantly reading the environment, not in a psychological way, in a biological way. So when a woman is in a state of chronic pressure, constant performance, constant doing, her system interprets this as a non-safe environment, and the body adapts accordingly. Stress hormones increase, restorative processes decrease, reproductive functions become disrupted, and this is not failure, this is just intelligence of the body, because from its perspective, survival always comes before procreation. And now we come to one of the most important differences. The male hormonal rhythm is relatively stable from day to day. The female hormonal rhythm, it changes throughout the month. It has phases. Each phase has different priorities, different energy levels, different emotional state, which means that a woman is not designed to be the same every day. But modern life expects exactly that. Consistent performance, constant productivity, predictable output, deadlines. Of course, not coherent with the menstrual cycle. So this creates a chronic mismatch between the biology and the lifestyle. Female body lives in cycles. And every month contains 4 seasons. Winter is the menstruation time, and it's time for rest. Spring is the time when a new egg starts to grow and whole body experiences a rise of energy. Summer, when any woman becomes an embodied shine of vitality, because that's when ovulation happens. And autumn, premenstrual phase, where we don't want to start anything new or plant anything new. We just harvest and get rid of what doesn't serve us. So what happens if she ignores her cyclical nature? A woman starts overriding her internal signals. She pushes when she needs to rest. She performs when she needs to just feel and listen. She suppresses when she needs to process. And over time, this leads to what many women describe as burnout, anxiety, loss of sensitivity, and very often numbness. not because something is wrong with these women, but because they have lost connection with their bodies. So under these circumstances, women's circles become not a luxury or entertainment, it's a physiological necessity. I'm absolutely sure about that, because the female nervous system regulates through safety, connection, presence, and non-judgment. And this is not ideology, this is neurophysiology. In a circle, woman is no longer required to perform. She can shift from doing to listening or sensing. She can shift from this tension of all by myself, to you are not alone. Just feel the response in your body, how it feels. From pushing to allowing, from control to presence, that's what women's circles are for. And these are exactly the principles we saw in the life of egg. This is intelligent receptivity. It's understanding the true nature of yourself. And that's what we reinforce and nurture in women's circles. Our intelligent receptivity, our connection with our essence, with our inner truth, and our loyalty to this essence and truth.